right to be down.
Mar, I love you, bro. A lot of guys have never said that and can't say that.
I link one of my brethren, they shake my hand, yo, what on? And they look me in the eye and they're like, nah, really? Like, what? Do you know what I'm saying?
Through my stabbing, through everything that I went through, no tears. The moment I started speaking, it broke.
Welcome to Conversation with Haych. This is a bit of a different format, as you can see, with the amazing SliderCuts studios. The amazing, listen, you see the lights is shining. The lights is shining, you know. And we've got some amazing guests with us today. First, I want to introduce Melvillous. You should know him. One of the hardest spitters out here in the game. You've seen him on, you know, adverts and that, doing spoken word and all them kind of things. Make sure you check him out, that's Melvillous. To my left-hand side, we've got the amazing pastor, Omar Tackie from Art 2.0. You should already know the congregation is growing and growing. Amazing, soon to be father of one.
Yes.
Amazing man of God, and he's a good brother as well, you know. Got the fresh trim and everybody. Yeah. To my right-hand side, we have the owner, the incredible. Mark, aka SliderCuts, you should know him. You've seen him everywhere. Google every advert under the sun. I know he's been on there. He cuts everyone's hair, and he's an amazing barber, and an amazing person. And obviously we've got my man, Faithchild, you know, my bro, the amazing, the touring all over Europe, everywhere, fresh trim every 2 days. Newly married man, Mr. Faithchild, you already know what it is. So, my first question, and we go this way. How's everyone doing? And being perfect, how are you doing?
Okay, oi. How am I doing? Yeah, boy. Whoa, how am I doing?
Should we go this way? Should we start this way?
Brother, yeah, you need to come back to me.
I'm gonna bring the mood down. I'm gonna go through it, man. I can't lie to you. Yeah, I'll be real. Nah, you know, overall, I'm living, I'm breathing, so I give thanks for that. But yeah, 2022 was a rough year, man. Very, very rough year for me for many reasons. Personally, relationship-wise, family-wise, you know what I'm saying? Faith-wise, like music, so many different facets of my life. Just like I feel, you know, took a real shaking. You know what I'm saying? And now coming at the other end of the year, starting at 2023 now, I have a little bit more perspective than I had while I was in the middle of the storm. Do you know what I'm saying? As it always is. But yeah, it was rough for a minute, man. I can't lie. So I'll be 100% transparent. I'm so glad that year's over, and yeah, I'm feeling like very optimistic for this coming year. I would say that.
Mark, out of 10.
Out of 10 for me, I don't know. You know what's hard about my personality?
Okay, talk to us.
Is that I generally seem to lean to the good things that are happening.
Okay.
So sometimes, which is not always the best thing, there could be a lot of things going on in my life which you might not know about because I'm not actually even focusing on those things. So you know, how do I feel at this moment? You know, I'm kind of like, well, I say like a you know, a 7. I'm not perfect, but you know, I know there's loads of good things that are happening in my life, but there is also like some heavy or tragic things right now that are going on, you know, which I guess even my wife said to me, you know, last week, that, you know, with a thing, which there's a certain thing going on in my life, where she said, if that was, you know, most people wouldn't be continuing at this very moment with what's going on. You know, I was just like, well, you know, we only have control over the things we have control over. And I still have to run the business. I still need to, you know, lead the family. I still need to, you know, take care of the children. I still need to do all of these things there, you know, just because, you know, certain things are happening, which I have no control over. Is, you know, I kind of just focus, you know, on what I can do in the situation, and that's about it. So, you know, so that's why with me it's kind of like, it's really rare that I feel that, like, you know, I feel that down. You know, it's because, and also to be honest as well, part of the issue is as well, you can say issue, which I said to my wife is as well, is sometimes I don't feel I have the right to be down.
Explain that one. Explain that one for us.
Because when I look at my life, I think there's so much blessings in it.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't mean that I look at someone else and say, if they're sad, oh, you shouldn't be down. But for me, I have this guilt where it's almost like I don't have the right to be, like, you know, down. I don't have the right to complain. I don't have the right to say, you know, that's unfair. Because, you know, I remember like years ago, like someone close, or I'll say my older brother passed away like 10 years ago now. And I remember when it happened, I remember being like, I can't say this is unfair, because if I say that's unfair, then what I need to really point to is it's not fair that people young pass away. Yeah. I didn't think I had the right to narrow it down to it's unfair towards me or my mum or my brothers or my other brothers. It's kind of, or to him, it's kind of like, you know, well, what's unfair is that thing, period. Not to me. I don't think I have the right to say, you know, oh, it's, you know, it's unfair towards me, because, you know, there are tragic things that happen in this world, like, you know, way beyond this, you know. So why am I not focusing, thinking, why is that unfair?
Yeah.
So this is the kind of way I kind of like think, you know. So it's kind of like, that's why I say I don't feel like sometimes I have the right to be in that place, you know, being so blessed and looking at so much other people in a lot worse situations. It makes it hard for me to kind of like be in that place.
Yeah. Nah, I hear you guys. Don't just feel like I'm leading the conversation. If you feel want to ask questions to each other as well, like, do that happily, and I'll go with me before we get to you. How am I feeling out of 10? I'm probably like, I'm a 7.5. I'm a 7.5. The 2.5 is really just me understanding where I'm meant to be at this point in time in life. So work-wise, I've been doing the same thing for about 10 years, 11 years now. And I've just felt like a shift has happened. And it's like, oh no, I don't want to do that no more. Or I don't want to do it. I don't want to, like, when I started it, I was like, I want to get to the top. Give me 15 years, I'm being CFO of the biggest companies in the UK. And then I hit 26, 27, and I said, oh, I don't really want to do that. One thing I never used to get was people used to work in the same job for like 15 years, 20 years. And I was like, hold on, you've had like opportunities to move up. Why have you not moved? And they would say, I'll get a little bit more money, but I'll get a lot less time. So right now, I'm comfortable with the time that I've got with my family. I can go home when I want to go home. The money's not really gonna, I can replace the money at any point in time. I can't replace the time. And I said, you know what? That's so true. So I've got to a point where I'm like, okay, I want to do stuff that wherever God leads me or whatever, and what I'm passionate about, I want them to interlink, and that's the kind of crossroads I'm at. So that's why it's a 2.5. The 7.5 is my house is peaceful. And I think that's so key. I come home to peace. I don't come home to noise. Even my son could be running up and down, but that's peace to me. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm a 7.5. I'm tired, but I feel at peace.
Aren't we all, my boy?
Oh, talk to us.
Boy, I just turned 30, so it feels like life just started. It feels like I just got my new kickstart, that everything that happened from 0 to 30 was training, it was practice for where I'm at now. So obviously on the back end of 29, my father passed away, which was difficult, overcoming that, then finding out that you got a baby on the way and realizing that he's not there to witness her birth, and that's those little tiny feelings of those milestones and pops not really being there, that kind of struggle. And then obviously we've been working towards getting a mortgage, which is happening now. The church is buzzing, it's booming, got a building, renovating it. So life is good in the grand scheme of it, but you obviously have the tussle that you have with juggling many hats at one time. So life is a blessing. Life is blessed, and I'm not angry. I'm not lacking. So I'm in a very good headspace. I feel like I've got a good direction with where I'm going in life right now. So like my brother, you know, many blessings. I can't really focus on the negatives too tough, you know what I mean? So I put myself right now, despite being tired, I put myself right at an 8.
So how often are you asked that question? How are you? Or where were you at? How often you ask that question and people actually, and you feel like people care?
That differentiation there that you added, how often do I feel like they care, that changes everything.
So you're telling me you get asked that question a lot?
Yeah, I feel like that's common. Like,
Wagwan.
He's saying like, what's the latest? What's up? Do you know what I'm saying? But I feel like that's very surface. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, only every so often do I get like I don't know, I link one of my brethren, they shake my hand, yo, what on? And they look me in the eye and they're like, nah, really? Like, what? Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's only like, that's very few and far in between. But yeah, I appreciate when that happens because, yeah, like, life be lifing, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to unload and you need to, you know what I'm saying, get some stuff off your chest. Even if it's like the world not necessarily crumbling around you, it's just every day that you know, you wake up, you're taking on new stuff and you don't always get to like unload that stuff at the end of a day or the end of a week or whatever it may be. So I feel like it's important to have those, but I don't feel like they're that often, if I'm real, in my life anyway. Like I've got, you know what I'm saying, I've got good brothers around me, good friends, good sisters, family members and that, but yeah, I feel like, especially when you're kind of viewed as like a strong person, people kind of like, you know,
They expect you to stay strong.
yeah, like, yeah, you'll be good, man. You'll firm that. Oh, what, that just happened. You'll be good, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Water off a duck's back kind of thing. But I feel like, yeah, eventually, doesn't matter how strong you may be, eventually it's going to start weighing you down. You know what I'm saying? So I've needed that a lot, like, over the last year or so. Like, more people, like, just being like, yo, like, how are you really? And not just like like in a transactional kind of like, just, oh yeah, like I'm just doing it just to kind of, yeah, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I feel like it's rare nowadays.
My question to you, Mark, is you as a business owner, you got so many things on your plate. How do you differentiate from someone who's coming in to the barbershop, say, yo, Mark, how you doing? To someone who's like, yo, let's like sit down. Do you have that space, or would you just say you don't really have that space?
Probably not. I think I probably could have it more if I guess, facilitated, you know, that, or maybe accepted that, reached out more. But generally, I think because of the position I play, generally, you know, in the shop, in society, it's like I'm always the ear, and I'm the one who has always got it together to some degree. So I don't think many people think there's even an issue. And to be fair, I guess that just comes as well from the way I approach life as well. Because, you know, even if there are issues, it's the way I look at things. The people around me say it all the time. The way I kind of like, you know, it could seem like everything is crumbling, but the way I kind of like manage everything and, you know, just deal with it. So it's, I guess, hard for someone to maybe see that there's an issue because I guess they just can't see it. You know, I guess it's like, so some people are not that this deep, but it's like your 6-year-old child will probably really never ask their parents, "Are you okay? How are you doing?" Because it's just the relationship. It's not there, is it? You know, they don't even understand. You know, and I think that's what it is, especially where you know, running a shop, you know, and doing all the things like some of the mentoring schemes and all this type of things. Then when you take up these positions, then you get seen in that position as the person who's good. I guess the same thing like with pastors and things like that. I guess, you know, how many people ask a pastor, how many people after a service go up to a pastor and say, you know, how you doing? But, you know, but they're never going to ask that because the position which you're playing is kind of like you're leading, you know, you are shepherding to some degree. You know, you are the ear to listen. You know, you're the hand to help. You know, you're the voice to give advice. And that's how people look at you.
Is it something that you would want?
I don't even know, to be honest. It's not something I yearn for. But I don't yearn... But I guess it's just another thing which connects with my character. I don't yearn for the thing I don't know.
You don't know the benefits of it.
This is why, because even my character, I always say to people say to me like, there'll be people in here, they'll be like, oh, you should try this thing here. And I'll be like, nah. They'll be like, why not? I said, I just want to try it. They said, but it's good. I said, you know what? The reality is this. I'm in a place in life, right? I don't need any more struggles. So if this is, I can already tell you, it's not good, it's not healthy, it's not good for you, right? Yeah. I don't need to try it. That's good. Because I don't need to take on any more challenges in my life. So I said, I'm not saying it's not good, I'm just saying, I know it's not good for me. And right now I'm living well without it. So I don't need to start bringing more things into my life. And I think because of that type of character, it's kind of like, I don't seem to miss the things that I don't have. You know, so like I grew up, let's say, and it's not like a pity story, like I grew up, my dad wasn't around, right? But he just was never around. I never missed ever having a dad. Like I don't remember a time. I remember one time in school, I was just acting up, where I started hearing people missing out having a dad. So I just started playing into it because I thought, oh, it was something that allowed me to get, I don't know, attention or get away with things. It's like, oh yeah, but he said something about my dad. But sir, he said something about... But in reality, in my heart, I actually never actually cared because I never experienced having him. I think he you know, he came out of my life when I was about 3-4 years old. So I don't really remember. I have like 4 memories of him, right? So because I never had it, I never missed it. It wasn't me being tough. I just didn't experience it, right? I started missing having a dad when I had a child because then I started understanding, oh, this would have been good to have this, right? But throughout my life, it was never like a struggle. And that's why it comes back to what you're saying, where I'm just saying that it's not, I don't ever want it to come across as Mr. Tough. It's just because I haven't had it. But when you start getting those things there, that's when you really start being like, this is what I've been missing. Yeah. I now need this thing. The customer came here about 2 weeks ago and he was talking about getting counselling and he's going therapy and everyone's saying go to it and he's about to go to the session and he's just thinking, oh, they don't want to go to it. And everyone's just saying, it's already been paid for, go to the session, go to the session, go to the session. I don't need it and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he goes to the session, the next week he comes back and he's addicted after one session. Because he's never been able to talk that freely, he said. He's never had someone just listen to him, right? So now he needs that thing. He can't go about it now. And that's why I think, you know, if I started getting it, then I would be like, all right, I need this.
I'm the same way, man. I tell people that I'm scared of therapy.
I need this.
I'm
Where's
scared.
it been in my life?
It's long. My therapist would hate me. I swear. I can't do that, man. I'm not that I can't. I'm just maybe not right this moment. Because when I start unloading, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. The waterfalls will just, it's gone. I've got too much to say.
I started therapy 3 years ago. So I started studying it. I started studying counselling. And to study to be a counsellor, you have to go through counselling. So, boy, listen. So I went through all my insecurities I didn't know were there. I'm trying to figure out the counselor's name, like, because you know sometimes they give you fake names because they don't want you to check them out on Facebook and that, like some weird stuff, bro. Like, because they're so mysterious, you want to be their friend because they know so much about you. You know what I mean? So I'm offloading. Then they asked this triggering question, and it was so simple, but so effective, and it stayed with me my whole walk home. And for 3 days, I broke down. But I can tell you that I hadn't cried for about 11 years. Yeah, so through my stabbing, through everything that I went through, no tears. The moment I started speaking, it broke. 3 days, I could not stop crying. But on the other side of that 3 days, I became probably the healthiest guy I've ever been in my life. You know what I mean? Like, it was a natural cleansing that I needed. But then even to take it back to the question, with regards to me and someone asking me how I'm doing, I vent. Yeah, I'm good at venting. Yeah, even if you don't ask me how I'm doing, I'll let you know. I'll let you know, my brother, someone got on my nerves today, and I'll let you know. Do you know what I mean? So I've learned to naturally just let it go. So I'll FaceTime my brothers, like, hey, brother, what, you got a minute? Hear what? And I'll let it go. Do you know what I mean? Because as a pastor, there's no way that I can hold this stuff inside. It will come out on the pulpit. You know what I mean? So I need to have a release. I need something to detox me from everything, from listening to what people are telling you after service, hearing about people's lives, their grief, their problems. How am I doing? Taking in and absorbing all of their information. Do you know what I mean? So for me to wait for someone to ask me how I'm doing myself a disservice. You know what I mean? I need to take the initiative and to communicate. So that's how I handle it.
That's key, because knowing Faithchild as I know him, Faithchild's the one who will ask you, yo, how you doing? What's going on? And now that you're here, how do you, what's your safe space? Outside of, you know, wife, family, what's your safe space for someone to do that to you? Because you're always doing it to others.
I feel like I'm always open. So I can have an honest conversation with a stranger, but I'm not gonna, I won't pull off and get 5. I'll keep a stranger like in gear 2 max. And then those I'm close with can get to gear 5. But I just feel like I'm so open, and I think because by God's grace I'm so healthy, I feel that I need to enable others to be that healthy.
No, that's good.
So if I say, bro, how you doing? Oh, bro, I'm not gonna lie, I'm struggling with XYZ, then you will now think, oh, okay, maybe I can tell him I'm struggling with that too. So I feel the more open you are, the more healthy you are, and the more you allow others around you to become open. I'm so grateful that I remember I saw, and I guess some of it can tie with toxic masculinity, you know, in regards to like you saying that you were able to actually break down and cry after those questions being asked. I remember I saw like something on TikTok where a guy said something about, do you tell your boys you love them? Or something like that. And I think some boys will say no, or they might say I love. But they don't say I love you, they're like, oh yeah, Melvillous, yeah, love. Do you know what I mean? But no, like, Ma, I love you, bro. Like a lot of guys, love you, my G. A lot of guys have never said that and can't say that. And that's when I realized how healthy my friendships were. Because I tell my boys all the time I love you, and they told me I love you as well. So it's normal. So it's only when, as you mentioned, like, you don't really know what you're missing, or so someone brings it up. So now I know what others are missing. I'm like, this is just a walk, this is another day. So I'm grateful that I have so many safe spaces, and I have so many great, genuine friends that I can talk to whenever and just offload, and it's just another day in the office, and no one ever judges. So I'm grateful that I have that. And you are a great person. I remember there was one time when wifey wasn't online for a minute because she was unwell. But Haych didn't know that. But he just realized that, hold on, I ain't seen... She sent me a voice note. I was like, bro, like, no one knows, but wifey's unwell. And I appreciate people checking in like that, random, like, I ain't seen Mel post in a week or in a minute. It's unlike Mel. So just those little things really do help people. And it goes a very long way. I never knew how much someone saying happy birthday to me, I never knew how much me saying happy birthday to someone meant until random people message me saying happy birthday. And I'm like, but it means so much. But to me, it's like, Facebook reminded me. I didn't even know it was your birthday. But it means a lot. So you never know how these small gestures of kindness go a very, very long way.
Absolutely.